Hello and welcome back. Today is day 21 of reading through the Divine Comedy, one canto at a time. We are on Inferno, Canto 21, and I'll read through the Longfellow translation before going through some spontaneous reflection. From bridge to bridge, thus, speaking other things of which my comedy cares not to sing, we came along, and held the summit, when we halted to behold another fissure of Malebolgia, and other vain laments, and I beheld it marvellously dark. As in the arsenal of the Venetians boils in the winter the tenacious pitch to smear their unsound vessels o'er again, for sail they cannot, and instead thereof one makes his vessel new, and one recalks the ribs of that which many a voyage has made. One hammers at the prow, one at the stern, this one makes oars, and that one cordage twists, another mends the mainsail and the mizzen, thus not by fire, but by the art divine, was boiling down below there a dense pitch, which upon every side the bank belimed. I saw it, but I did not see within it aught but the bubbles that the boiling raised, and all swell up and resubside compressed. The while below there fixedly I gazed, my leader crying out, "Beware, beware!" drew me unto himself from where I stood. Then I turned round, as one who is impatient to see what it behoves him to escape, and whom a sudden terror doth unman, who, while he looks, delays not his departure, and I beheld behind us a black devil, running along upon the crag, approach. Ah, how ferocious he was in this aspect, and how he seemed to me in action ruthless, with open wings and light upon his feet. His shoulders, which sharp-pointed were and high, a sinner did encumber with both haunches, and he held clutched the sinews of the feet. From off our bridge he said, "O Malebranche, behold one of the elders of Saint Zita. Plunge him beneath, for I return for others unto that town which is well furnished with them. All there are berators, except Bonturo. No into yes, for money there is changed." He hurled him down, and over that hard crag turned round, and never was a mastiff loosened in so much hurry to pursue a thief. The other sank, and rose again face downward. But the demons, under cover of the bridge, cried, "Here the Santo Volto has no place. Here swims one otherwise than in the Serchio. Therefore, if for our gaffs thou wishest not, do not uplift thyself above the pitch." They seized him, then, with more than 100 rakes. They said, "It here behoves thee to dance covered, that, if thou canst, thou secretly mayest pilfer. Not otherwise the cooks their scullions make, immerse into the middle of the cauldron the meat with hooks, so that it may not float." Said the good master to me, "That it be not apparent thou art here, crouch thyself down behind a jag, that thou mayest have some screen. And for no outrage that is done to me be thou afraid, because these things I know, for once before was I in such a scuffle." Then he passed on beyond the bridge's head, and as upon the 6th bank he arrived, need was for him to have a steadfast front, with the same fury and the same uproar as dogs leap out upon a mendicant, who on a sudden begs where'er he stops. They issued from beneath the little bridge, and turned against him all their grappling irons. But he cried out, "Be none of you malignant. Before those hooks of yours lay hold of me, let one of you step forward, who may hear me, and then take counsel as to grappling me." They all cried out, "Let Malakota go," whereat one started, and the rest stood still. And he came to him, saying, "What avails it? Thinkest thou, Malakota, to behold me advanced into this place?" My master said, "Safe hitherto from all your skill of fence, without the will divine and fate auspicious? Let me go on, for it in heaven is willed that I another show this savage road." Then was his arrogance so humbled in him that he let fall his grapnel at his feet, and to the others said, "Now strike him not." And unto me, my guide, "O thou, who sittest among the splinters of the bridge, crouch down, securely now return to me again." Wherefore I started, and came swiftly to him, and all the devils forward thrust themselves, so that I feared they would not keep their compact. And thus beheld I once afraid the soldiers, who issued under safeguard from Caprona, seeing themselves among so many foes. Close did I press myself with all my person beside my leader, and turned not mine eyes from off their countenance, which was not good. They lowered their rakes, and, "Wilt thou have me hit him?" they said to one another, "on the rump?" and answered, "Yes, see that thou nick him with it." But the same demon who was holding parley with my conductor turned him very quickly, and said, be quiet, Scarmiglione." Then said to us, "You can no farther go forward upon this crag, because is lying all shattered at the bottom the 6th arch. And if it still doth please you to go onward, pursue your way along upon this rock. Near is another crag that yields a path. Yesterday, 5 hours later than this hour, 1,266 years were complete, that here the way was broken. I send in that direction some of mine, to see if any one doth err himself. Go ye with them, for they will not be vicious. Step forward, Alicino and Calcabrina, began he to cry out, and thou, Cagnazzo, and Barbariccia, do thou guide the 10. Come forward, Livio Colco and Drachignazzo, and Tusk Ciriato and Graffiacane, and Farfarello and Mad Rubicante. Search ye all round about the boiling pitch. Let these be safe as far as the next crag, that all unbroken passes o'er the dens. Oh me! What is it, master, that I see? Pray let us go, I said, without an escort, if thou knowest how, since for myself I ask none. If thou art as observant as thy wont is, dost thou not see that they do gnash their teeth, and with their brows are threatening woe to us? And he to me, I will not have thee fear. Let them gnash on, according to their fancy, because they do it for those boiling wretches. Along the left-hand dike they wheeled about, but first had each one thrust his tongue between his teeth towards their leader for a signal, and he made a trumpet of his rump. Okay, there's a lot going on in this canto as well. Number 1, notice how Virgil is actually worried for Dante's safety, besides the fact that he is alive and in hell, which is, despite the fact that it's under the earth, it's a spiritual place. So what is the actual danger to Dante? Earlier with the Gorgons, it was that for fear that he would give in to temptation and look at the Gorgon, at Medusa. At various points, he has to be carried in order to avoid getting dropped or getting put into the boiling water or anything else that they find. So you got to ask yourself a little, and I'm not sure that there's a good answer to this, what is the actual danger to Dante? Because he's alive. The worst thing that can happen to you in hell is for those who are actually doomed to be in hell. But what about for the living? What is the actual risk being taken? If there was no risk at all, then Virgil's guidance wouldn't be necessary. I'd also posit that from a kind of commonsensical standpoint, hell is not a place made for human habitation. Living people are really not supposed to be there. Nobody, not even souls, are supposed to be there, although that doesn't stop them from choosing to be. And so, it's reasonable that it would still be dangerous there. We meet a few more of the demons that are in charge of the Malebolgia here as well. This mirrors an incident from earlier in the Inferno, when Virgil has to talk to the centaurs in order to get them to escort them around the boiling lake of blood. Here, it's a boiling lake of oil. And on the one hand, the devils, unlike the Gorgons and the Furies, they don't oppose Virgil at all once he announces his mission. They don't even risk opposing the will of God. They say, all right, fine, we'll escort you through here. That's what the leader says, anyway. The underlings are still quite keen to poke at Dante. It's good to remember that there is no such thing as a good demon. They all hate you as a human being made in the image of God. They absolutely hate you. The one thing that they want more than anything else is for you to be down there in hell with them so they can torture you. As I was saying, though, just like with the centaurs, an escort is sent with Virgil and Dante. And Dante is really apprehensive about this. He says, Virgil, they look like they want to hurt us. I think they might. Are you sure that we even need them? Can't we just go without them? And Virgil is very confident and says, nonsense. They're gnashing their teeth for the souls in the water and the oil, and not for us. There's no need to fear. I wonder if that's actually true. And Virgil himself is probably subject to even greater danger, seeing how he's actually a soul in hell. I'm not sure how this little adventure of theirs is going to turn out, being escorted by actual demons, but hopefully it'll end well. There's one other really cool detail. Malakota says that the bridge that they would have to cross to continue deeper into hell was broken 1,266 years ago. Plus 1 day, minus 5 hours. If you've been keeping track of what time of day it is as they've been moving through the Inferno, well, it's currently Holy Saturday in the year 1300. So the day that Malakota is referring to is the actual date of Good Friday, 33 AD, approximately when Jesus Christ was crucified. He's saying that at that moment, the bridge collapsed. Remember that Virgil talked about how there was an earthquake at the exact same time. That's all I have for today. I'll see you all tomorrow.